All right, welcome back.
Okay, so here we have boys. I'm Zach.
I'm Zach too.
I'm David.
I'm Bryn.
I'm Dyson.
And Mo behind camera. All right, so here we're in the temperate room. First we'll start off with the abiotic factors. Yeah, obviously a little bit humid in here. You know, like the temperature's obviously very high. Yeah, it's like you can tell it's very moist. You know, and that's probably about it.
Just adding to the abiotic factors, tons of rock life in here for all of our abiotic factors to you know grow on and you know create their homes. Also tons of dense vegetation in here. You know, a lot of factors that you know create this beautiful ecosystem and just you know mesh everything together very well.
Yeah, just to jump off other Zach's point, talking about the temperature in here, you know, not too hot and like a tropical, but not too cold as well. You know, just the perfect moderate temperature for this vegetation to grow.
Yeah, like off what Zach said, it's like very humid in here, you know, great for breathing, and yeah.
And even going off that once again, it's just torrid, you know, just almost humid in here, and just cleanses the airways and the nasal passages. It is, it's like canopy, just all the wildlife over our heads and the trees and leaves everywhere. Just the scent in here really refreshes you and is almost balsamic in a way. Just the way that all of the different wildlife comes together to really fill your nose. So it's a great place to be, and I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
You know, just to build on Dice's point here, all of those factors really contribute to 4 seasons. So you know, it's just a great place to be, and yeah, of course, it's very organic. You can feel it.
Yeah, just a great place. You know, like representing like the like around the equator, that part. Just great for plant growth. Obviously very humid temperature. Great for plant growth. And that's it.
Right.
Love that. Yeah.
All right, thanks, boys.
All right, so here we got the group, boys. We're in the tropical room. Obviously, start off very humid. Talk us about the temperature, David.
Temperature, you know, very hot. You know, these plants require a lot of heat, a lot of sunlight to grow. You know, and I think this area really reflects that need.
Brayden, can you tell us about like the like humidity?
How can the plants grow?
Well, you know, these plants are massive. Like I almost feel like I'm in the Amazon rainforest here. So it's very humid in this room. These plants can grow, and very healthy plants, and yeah.
And to jump off that, the condensation from the humidity in the room obviously helps these plants grow. Gets right down into the roots of the plant and just brings it up the shoots and roots. And look at the result. Just
Feel a little bit of sweat forming on the forehead
a
here.
beautiful forest.
You know, just to build off that, we have all this dense vegetation, which is just amazing. You know, creates a very good ecosystem, and I mean, with the temperature in here and all the condensation, you know, we definitely feel a little season change in here. So year round, it's definitely the same all year round. Definitely makes for a consistent environment.
Yeah. All right, let's take a walk.
Just to add on to that, you know, obviously there's a lot of water around, you know, there's definitely some heavy rainfall that gets into here, especially during these, you know, types of seasons.
And just to piggyback off of that, you know, all the constant precipitation just, you know, really enriches the soil. You know, these plants require a lot of water to grow, and you know, just all the water that's coming from this room, which just really reflects that.
And just to piggyback off of that once again, look at the variety in this room of all the different types of vegetation, all the different species. You can imagine all the different animals in here we hope not to find. But like, just to talk about the abiotic factor of the environment, the temperature and the humidity, how all of these plants are so similar yet look so different, but the variety, they just almost juxtapose each other with colors, size, all these differences, but yet all in the same place. It's truly beautiful.
All right, so let's keep going.
As you can see here, very colorful plant. Obviously, only in tropical environments. Trying to touch it.
Yeah, very, very peaceful sanctuary in here. We can just feel how peaceful it is. You know, countries like Brazil and Indonesia that are very, religious and use it for lots of, they really connect with the environment. Six, let's get a little look at that rainfall up there, you know. There's a
Oh, yeah.
of the rainfall.
Prime example.
Prime example of tropical rainfall, obviously. Yeah, obviously feeling very humid in here. Feeling a little bit of sweat.
Comparative to
Obviously,
taking
you
a
need
shower.
Obviously, you need a water. On the side.
Hope phone doesn't get wet.
this is next level.
Next level, boys.
Wow, let's take a trip right through the middle of it.
Just I'm feeling like the duality of the precipitation and the temperature, and also like the humidity really just gives this place like just a sense of just great nature and like right next to the equator type of stuff like that. So very tropical places. And that'd be the end of the tour. All right, welcome to the arid room. Obviously, starters, very dry, very hot.
Yeah, I mean, the temperature very extreme, you know. These organisms have to be able to, you know, withstand a lot of condition. The heat, obviously, very big factor. Not a lot of stuff can grow here, so you know it's gotta take a very grizzled organism.
Oh, wow, not much can. Let's take a look at what can. Taking a walk around this way, you will see lots of these plants built in with defense systems like spikes. I'm not going to get into that. That's another rabbit hole for another day. But like a lot of smaller plants, a lot of dry plants, a lot of different colors. But something about cactuses is just the way that they can retain the way that they can retain the water, and you don't really need much water, to be honest, throughout the whole summertime, which is really all year for these plants.
Yeah. Just going off what they said, through these thick stems, they store their water throughout these very warm conditions.
Yeah, you know, just to build off that, you know, the rock soil, you know, everything's very, the roots, very deep root bases, you know, they grow in, you know, little patches because of, you know, the dense soil, and just juxtaposing between the other roots. This soil, obviously very dry, doesn't store a lot of water, so, yeah, obviously very different.
Yeah, and these cacti can also just vary in size. Like there's very big variety in sizes in these cacti.
Let's take another walk. Over towards possibly the tallest wildlife in the desert, you see a desert tree, or a Pachypodium lamare, as we call them, us scientists. But you can see the leaves very thin, lots of area throughout them, and there's not a lot of them in this place. So when the sun beats down hard, there's really nowhere to hide. That's why the water retention is so crucial to these organisms.
You know, and just piggybacking off of Dice there, not a lot grows up here in the arid room. You know, everything's very you know, close to the ground. Yeah, just because of the circumstances.
Just to add on to that, you know, this room is very high in temperature, so they get very little rainfall here in the desert. And so the cacti here, they have to store water inside of their plants, you know.
Let's just come over here. Let's see the soil, you know. Obviously, very rock-like soil, you know, contrasting to the tropical room there. You know, very dry, very
Dirty.
you know, dirty, rocky.
Yeah. And that's the arid room, boys. Thank you.